This is John T for the Boxing Voice, and this is part 2 of our tribute of 3 for marvellous Marvin Hagler. I'm pleased to be joined today by English light heavyweight champion Dan Azeez, British middleweight champion Denzel Bentley, and as always, Dave Johow. How you all doing, guys? You all right, Dave? Start with you.
Yeah, good. Good talking with Chris Algieri the other day as well. Looking forward to seeing what Dan and Denzel have got to say about the big man who sadly passed away on Saturday night.
How about yourself, Dan? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all blessed, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, man. It's obviously it's sad to hear Hagler passed away. I was quite upset, obviously, because I thought at least one day I might beat him. But yeah, man, he's a great guy in and out of the ring, and yeah, man. Just sad times for me, especially.
Yeah, that's why we've got you on. I know you're a big fan. I'm going to come to you first in a minute. You all good, Denzel? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good, thank you. I'm just, like Dan said, it's a shame that Marvin Hagler passed. Sorry, one second. Hey, hold on, man. Obviously, it's a shame that Marvin Hagler passed away and all that stuff, but he was the greatest middleweight of all time. And it's funny because in the last couple of interviews, someone asked if there was one person I want to fight, who would it be? And I've said Marvin Hagler. But in actual reality, out of the 4 of them, the fabulous 4, he would be the only one I wouldn't want to fight because it would be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare. But that just shows how great he is. He wanted his name to live on, and it will. So.
Excellent stuff. Well, we'll start off with you, Dan, if it's all right. Just tell us what your thoughts are. Why? I don't want to spoil it, but I know he was your favourite fighter. I think you model yourself on him a little bit. And tell us why he was the best. What you liked about him.
My main thing was not just his skill in the ring. It's just his whole his story behind him. Obviously he come up the hard way. He had to fight numerous times before he even got a shot at the world title. And even when he did, he kind of got duped out of it. And he just wasn't someone to duck or dodge at anyone, wanted to fight everyone. And just his mental fortitude was is second to none. That's one thing that really stuck out to me about him. He's just got the will to win and very disciplined. As you can see, every time he fought, he was in incredible shape. And yeah, man, alongside that, he was a boxer. He could box, he could have a tear up, probably, in my opinion, the best switch hitter. And yeah, man, he's just a very, very good boxer, excellent boxer. And yeah, in my opinion, the best middleweight of all time.
Is there a specific fight that you remember him most by, the best fight or anything like that?
There's 2. Obviously, the one everyone talks about, him versus Hearn. But I've watched him versus Mugabe. I've watched that so many times. I don't know why. I just love that fight because obviously Mugabe came into the fight as the knockout artist, was the up and coming guy. I'm sure he'd knocked out every single opponent he had fought. And obviously, he was big as well. He was a big middleweight. And yeah, he come into the fight. Mugabe was kind of doing his thing, was strong, taking it to him. But just Hagler, as the rounds went on, he just showed his level. And again, his mental fortitude was just incredible. And he just he implemented his will on Mugabe, and then in the later rounds took him out. But that fight, I always watch that one, because I just love it. It's a very good fight.
Excellent. Am I right in saying that you even wear the shorts, your shorts you wear are the same as what he wore? Is that right?
Yeah. That ain't just because he's my favorite fighter, just because he's the swag in it. I love the 80s, the early 80s, late 70s swag. Even all the footballers, basketball players, all of them, they had the high shorts. I just like that swag. I'm not one to have the long ass shorts and how people have this day and age. I like the old school swag, the velvet, the red colors, and yeah, obviously he wore them like that. There's other fighters as well that had just modeled their shorts the same kind of way. Bruno, Oscar De La Hoya. There's loads of fighters. Salvador Sanchez, sorry. But I just like that swag. So all the more I thought, yeah, let me just rock it like how he wears these and the colours. Red's my favourite colour as well, so yeah.
Quality, mate.
Yeah. And Denzel as well, for yourself as a middleweight, how do you think he would have fared in the modern era when we're talking about your Golovkins, Canelos? Because you said it yourself, you know, you wouldn't want to fight someone like Hagler because he was a problem for everyone, wasn't he? How do you think he would have fared in today's modern era?
I think he'd have ran for everyone. I'm not going to lie to you. Not even just because, you know, like everyone prefers the old school, obviously. But if you look at his fighting style, you know, you compare it to some of the guys today, and like his level of toughness is like is nuts. I'm not going to lie to you. Like it's just mad. Like what Dan was saying, the Mugabe fight, the John Mugabe fight. That's one of my favorite fights as well, because obviously John Mugabe came in 25-0, 25 knockouts, and Hagler just decided to stand there and go at it with him. He didn't want to box and move, and he just stood there and thought, I'm taking it to you. So that mentality nowadays is like, you know, I feel like he would have broke a lot of fighters mentally before taking them out. And I think he's done that in his time anyway, but you'd have to be a very special fighter to beat Hagler. No matter what era it is, you'd have to be a very special fighter. I think he would have run for everyone.
Yeah, because it's one of those, isn't it, as well? I mean, some people draw back on the nostalgia of the fighters of the 70s and 80s, don't they, guys? And we're in that sort of balance, and sometimes we ask the question as well, like how the modern sort of greats would have fared against the nostalgia of the time. But Hagler, for me as well, I think he kind of gave the staple and the benchmark of what, you know, modern fighters follow today, don't they? In terms of
100%.
That style, that ferocity, that violence. This is what people fight to, right? Dan, would you agree with that?
No, 1,000,000%, man, definitely. Yeah, like Denzel said, I definitely think he would have ran through all of the late the guys coming up now. I would love to see how he do against Canelo though. I think that would be a wicked fight. Yeah, that's one person. Yeah, if I could say a dream fight, I'd love to see Hagler versus Canelo. Actually, Hagler versus Golovkin as well. Those two, that would be. I'd love to see that fight. So yeah,
that'd be a war. One thing I actually wanted to ask both of you actually is being active on obviously modern day fighters. I looked at his stats. I've got him here. He's had 67 fights and he did it in 14 years, which I worked out to be pretty much 5 fights a year. What is it you think? And bearing in mind there were like 15 rounders back then as well, and a lot of them were.
Yeah.
What is it you think that stops modern day fighters, even like yourselves, having that many a year?
Do you want to go first, Dan? Or?
I'll let you go first.
I feel like it's a mixture of a few things. I think, you know, the science in the sport nowadays obviously tells you not to. A lot more like health and safety precautions. If you've been in a tough fight, you automatically get a suspension from the board and say you're out for however long. And also, I think a lot of it is due to the big paydays. Like the big paydays, I think that's the main factor. Like, for example, let's just say Floyd, for the amount of money he would demand to fight a year, you couldn't have him fighting 5 times a year because it's too much money that's on demand. So you'd space it out and, you know, pay him what he needs to pay. Let's just say he wants 100 mil. You're not making that 5 times. You know what I'm going to say? Like fighting 5 times a year. So you have to space it out, fight on certain days and stuff. And I think the paydays are mostly to do, you know, mostly what, you know what I'm trying to say.
That's right. That
yeah.
makes perfect sense. You're right. If there's a pot of money they're going to give him in a year, if they're going to give it to him if he wants the same amount for every fight, instead of having 2,
yeah, exactly,
you can 5 times, and the money isn't there to do that. Plus the fans paying for pay-per-view and stuff like that. Would you
exactly, and tickets for that expensive.
Yeah. You agree with that, Dan?
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, for me, it's probably more to do with the money. They don't put like in this country. There's only a handful of promoters that put on shows, and it's always about money, how much tickets you can sell and stuff. If every fighter coming up didn't have to sell tickets to get on, and maybe had a better backing or something, people would probably be fighting like at least 5 times a year, especially when they're first starting. Like when Hagler first started, I'm sure he probably had 10 fights in his first year and whatnot. And then towards the end of his career, it might have been just 1 every year because the money and, you know, but when you're first starting off, it's not about the money. It's just about being busy. Do you know what I mean? And this day and age, to do that, you at least need like good backing. You need good sponsors, because if you're fighting about 10 times a year or even 5 times a year, you're not going to be working. It's going to be your full-time job. So obviously you need someone to constantly back you and stuff. And it's just not like that. I mean, because they do that in Mexico. They do it. You have people doing that in America and stuff. But in this country, it's not really the same. So yeah, it's a shame though, because someone like me, I'm someone who likes to be active. Like, so yeah. And on top of it, because Hagler started he started like the hard way, he had to get himself noticed. So you have to keep being on these shows and stuff. When Sugar Ray Leonard, just come out the Olympics and stuff like that, I don't think he probably fought as much. He was probably fighting less and got more money. So it's also about whether, you have to build yourself up, as in get the fans behind you, your following and stuff. If you have to do that, then you're going to have to probably fight more often. If you've already got that big backing and say you're an Olympian or something, probably don't have to fight as much. You've got like TV behind you and stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably why he fought so many times.
I mean, another thing that I was going to ask you guys was, ask you both was, Marvin Hagler was a revolutionary in terms of what he did after he left the game of boxing in 1987. So he became an actor, went to Italy. He became a broadcaster as well. And for me, that was quite pioneering as well. So it was not just the boxing, was it, that people followed? It was like his career afterwards as well. And sometimes for boxers, when they hang their gloves up, there's sometimes not that guidance there about what to do next. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. A lot of people, after they finish boxing, you don't really know what they're going to do. So they don't know what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have lived their whole life boxing. But that's why, someone like Marvin Hagler, he obviously had that idea. He planned what he wanted to do, and he got on with it, which is also a good thing. And that would give other fighters that maybe don't know what to do to look around and be like, okay, now maybe there are other avenues to make money and, keep busy and stuff about boxing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. That's one thing that I was really happy about with him as well, is that he hanged it up on his terms. Like you said, went to Italy, started different things, went down other avenues. He had money as well. So I was pleased, because around them times, not a lot of boxers, when they finish, it's kind of, they're broke or, go on too long. Once he didn't get that rematch with Leonard, I think he thought, you know what, sod this. And, took his millions, went off to Italy, his wife. And I think the Petroleni's, they're from Italy, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Who's that?
Yeah, so he just went off to Italy, and just lived the rest of his days out there, man. And I was very pleased, like that was the case for him, man. So yeah,
that kind of hanging up your gloves, isn't it, John? I was going to ask you on this one as well. When it comes to social media demanding a rematch, and this is for everybody really, if social media would have existed in 1987, do you think that rematch with Leonard could have happened? Because both of you guys here, when you're fighting, sometimes fans watch a fight, the first thing they do is go onto social media and kind of, that scorecard was a robbery and there should be another fight. And, what do you think of that? Do you think social media was around, that rematch would have been demanded?
I think it would have, yes, in all honesty. I mean, Denzel in particular, you are the king of social media, mate. But some of the stuff that you see on there is where it builds up a clamour for fights, though. So if you go back to like 1986 or 7, whenever that fight was against Leonard, the fans would have wanted a rematch, but all you're relying on is newspapers and clippings and little bits here and there. There's no way of. Whereas now, I'll watch a comment on Instagram, and I'm quite new to Instagram, but I'll just watch it build up, and I think, right, that fight's going to maybe get made because you can do that. Yeah.
And I feel like social media is in your face, so it's hard to avoid. Like I say, if you're waiting on the newspaper and all these other sorts of, different media back then, it's not really in your face, so it's easy to ignore. And on social media, like, everyone's seen this person pull you out, and like a bit of ego kicks in and like, well, hold on, no, I'm not having that. I've got to take it now just because he outed me out on social media. So I think it would happen as well.
Yeah, definitely. And it would have just, social media adds that hype, and when the more hype there is, the more money there is. So especially seeing as obviously Leonard carried on boxing after that, I'm sure the hype would have generated some big dollars, and probably thought, you would have thought, you know what, let's have it again. But a bit of me thinks he wouldn't have had it again as well, because I don't know if you lot have watched it, but towards the end, like, you know, he was really like, you know, coming to his last legs in that. So I think he was happy to just get away with that points decision and thought, yeah, so doing that again, man. Now, Rob, you know, move on and do something else. So, yeah.
Yeah, fair play. Well, look, great tribute from both of you guys there. Really appreciate it. And I know you were both fans. Before we let you go, I'll start with you, Dan. You've both got massive fights penciled in. I think you're out on the 17th of April, Dan. Is that right? Against Ricky Summers?
Yeah. April 17th on Bolton, defending the English title. And it's also an eliminator for the British. So, God willing, everything goes well. I'll win that fight, and then takes me one step closer to the British title, and I can emulate my guy Denzel Bentley, you know, and try and get my hands on the British title. Yeah.
Quality.
So, yeah.
And Denzel, you're out in action soon as well. The mouth-watering clash between yourself and Felix Cash, which John and yourself have been talking about for about a year now. So you finally got it now. So tell us about that.
Yeah, no, good fight. You know, it's a fight that, you know, takes me to that next level. You know, hopefully, you know, God willing, come out on top and get the European after that, and obviously stamp my status as the best domestically. So being #1 in Britain after that, I think I'm #1 in Britain already, but that solidifies it. That no one in Britain should say my name again after this fight. But yeah, hopefully move on to the European. You know, probably defend it, move on. We see what comes. But it's a good fight at the end of the day. I think it will be a very good fight. It'll be entertaining for the fans, and I'm happy that, you know, the feedback from everyone has been so positive and so good, and everyone seems like they've enjoyed the matchup so far. I just hope they enjoy the fight the same way as they imagine it.
Yeah, one thing I like to say is, talking about Hagler coming up the hard way and fighting everybody, no word of a lie, even though Denzel's my mate and we trained together from day one, he's been wanting to call, like, he wants to fight everybody. Like, even sometimes he will say a name domestically when he was coming up, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's a bit too far-fetched for you, but he didn't care. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm being so honest, he'll be like, nah, man, I want to fight him, I don't care. Like, and it's so refreshing to see him actually become the British champion, because when he was first coming out, he's moaning, oh, I don't get Southern area, I can't even get English, this, that. The first title he goes for, British, and he bags it like with a beautiful performance, and now he's going on to fight another hungry, strong lion in Felix Cash, and do you know what I mean? He's not ducking anybody. Like, when Liam Williams had the title, is it Liam Williams? When he had the title, no one was saying a word about fighting him. Everyone was just waiting. Let him. He's gonna go on to world honors, and let's wait. Then Denzel's the only guy that was like, nah, F that out. Let me fight him. And it's just, this is what happens when, like, the truth always comes out. And when he did vacate, Denzel was the first one in line, and now he's the British champion. So it's very good. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, just on the topic of Hagler and coming out the hard way, not ducking or dodging anyone, we got someone in living flesh here in the UK that's on that. And it's seriously, not even just saying it because he's my mate, but it's refreshing to see live in the flesh. So yeah,
I think what's great,
thank you, bro.
That is a good tribute to you there, Denz, to be fair.
Yeah.
In the last year, Denzel, as we said a couple of times, been out 3 times in the pandemic, and it's really given you that platform now where your name's probably being mentioned along with the elite British fighters, whereas, don't mind me saying, a year ago that probably wasn't the case. So, and it looks like Dan, you're probably 2 fights maybe behind if it goes your way, where you've got at the same kind of thing with a belt, and your trajectory with friends and sparring partners can go together, and who knows, you get onto world level, both of you. That would be amazing.
No, definitely, of course, man. That's the plan, man. That's the plan. Just got to keep working. But yeah.
Just one more from me on Hagler. I just got to get your opinion on this. Hagler Hearns, round 1, was that the best ever round of professional boxing in your opinion?
Yeah, that round was mad. That round, mad. You can watch that round like 10 times over and still have the same reaction. Like, they went for it. I think one of the commentators said something like, there's been no boxing in there, just straight fighting. And that's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
mad round.
Definitely. Every time I watch
I don't need no rounds like that.
Do you know, no break. Every time, because of that brand, sometimes I think every fight I've had, I've said, do you know what? I might as well just come, fuck that, let's just go for it like that. Like, but then after I think, nah, I don't want to be hearing the commenter saying, "Oh, Azeez heard it with a right hand, heard him again with that." Nah.
I tell you what though. I'll be honest with you, yeah, without being funny. When me and Dan spot, that's basically this guy just comes to me down, straight at me with his tough self. And I'm just on the back foot trying to whip it in. Like, get off me. Yeah. And he's just steaming through.
And literally what he does exactly what Hearn does. You see, as Hagler was coming in, bulldogging him, that's what he has to do. Actually, give me a good 1-2 shots to be like, oh, hey, relax. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's funny. It's true.
That's good, though.
Quality. Good stuff. Well, look,
he beats me up, though, but it's good.
Yeah, he's 2 weights heavier, right? So I've got.
You know what I mean? Don't listen to him, John. Man, he's chatting rubbish, man.
Listen, I had him on Instagram Live recently, and I'm gonna have to tell the fans, I've heard a story that Chris Ball split his lip, and Chris Ball.
Oh my God!
So I can totally believe what happens in them spars, Dan. You don't have to worry. Well, as always, it's great to have you on. We really appreciate your time on a Saturday evening, and we'll catch you both soon. Good luck.
Worries.
All the best, guys.
Cheers, and just want to say good luck to Lawrence Okoli. He's fighting for the world title today.
Oh yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's my old gym partner. You know, I've known him since the amateurs, from his first fight to the amateurs, and again, so refreshing to see him fighting for a world title. It gives people like myself that, you know, the belief like someone's so close. I've watched him from the amateurs. I fought him in the amateurs, and now he's fighting for a world title. I think, bloody hell, man. This is what dreams are made of. So just wishing him good luck today, fighting against Glowacki. So yeah, everyone get behind him.
Yeah, you think he's going to win?
About 9:30, yeah? About 9:30 ring walk, is it? 10 o'clock?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The first fight's at 7, so yeah, I'm guessing so.
And also after this interview, stay tuned, because we have got whoever hasn't seen it, round 1 of Hagler Hearns literally after this interview as well. So make sure you stick on.
Oh, wicked!
I'm sure everyone's seen it though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch you later, guys.
The early rounds can really dictate how this fight will go.
The first round is a key round.
We're underway. And the pace is up-tempo right at the opening bell.
Hagler being the aggressor.
Hearns working that jab. He has a very quick jab. There's no denying it. And he caught Hagler with 2 good jabs and a right hand that might have hurt Hagler. Tremendous pace in the first round.
I expected this, Barry. Both guys are going at it.
Hearns getting the better of it right now. No nonsense at all here. And a left hand by Hagler. What a pace. And it stood Hearns straight up. And a right hand. Both men have felt the wrath of the other.
Tommy is hurt. His legs a little shaky, unsteady.
And a left hand by Hearns. Threw that off his back foot, though. There's a short right.
Hagler now just uses defense. He's walking towards Hearns. He's doing the right thing now. Hearns is on his bicycle. Hagler now is going to his body.
Remember, Roldan caught Marvin Hagler early on also. There's another good straight right hand by Hagler, and another.
Now Hearns is using his movement. He's trying to throw Hagler off balance.
Hearns coming with a right hand lead that time.
Both fighters are really off balance.
Hagler leading with the right hand, but he's kind of lunging with it. There's another right hand, backs Hearns into the ropes.
Watch for Hagler's hook.
Now that was the right hand of Tommy Hearns, and it did catch Hagler, but he didn't take a backward step there. Another good right hand by Hearns.
Hagler's working his body now, trying to slow Tommy down. These guys are exerting a great deal of energy, Baron.
Tremendous pace in the first round. Blood coming from the face of Marvin Hagler. Can't tell yet where it's coming from. We'll see.
Both guys will definitely be winded in the next round.
It is over the right eye, I believe, of Marvin Hagler. We'll wait till we get him. And there's a lot of blood early on here. An awful lot of blood on the face of Marvin Hagler. It is in a place where it could do serious damage. We'll know between rounds when we get into the corner. Hagler punishing Hearns now. But it is Hagler who is bleeding. This is still the first round.
The second round, these guys will definitely pace themselves. There has been no boxing at all, just fighting here.
Just slugging. Blood on the face of Marvin Hagler. Again, we can't quite tell where it's coming from while Hagler continues to dish out punishment. Jones bounces right back. This may be the most brutal, even round you've ever seen in boxing.
So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, entitled betting shows. The list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.